talk a little bit about the cook-off. Now, this is the one that Aaron and Leslie put on there in Midland, Texas, for his grandson to help raise some money. And how many teams they end up having? Wasn't it a pretty big turnout?
Yeah, we ended up having, I believe, 38 teams.
Okay.
So
wow, that's good.
That's
good.
Out, here around West Texas, and
right.
It's for a wonderful cause, his grandson, and this one is very near and dear to my heart. That family is such a great family, and every one of them, is that. To me, they're really not barbecue family; they are family.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, that grand right there
meant a lot to you.
Means a lot.
Yeah, I figured it did. When I saw that you had won it, I know you're very, very close with Aaron and the entire family. I've seen y'all cook, 2 or 3 years ago. Y'all were just, every time y'all turn around, when he was cooking, you was pretty much there with him. And I just thought it would be really special to get you on so you could kind of talk a little bit about that. And so what's your plan? You was telling us you're cooking on a new smoker, so why don't we talk a little bit about that and what you're cooking on now?
Yeah, I haven't totally gotten away from drums. I still have a couple with me, but we got a backyard jambo here a few months ago and been playing with it, and it's definitely helped my cooking quite a bit.
Right.
I figured it might be a little bit more of a learning curve than what it was, but like you alluded to earlier, I've helped Aaron quite a bit on some of these cooks, and helped him run his big jambo, and
right.
It just kind of come like second nature, I guess.
Right.
We fired it up and let her purr and let her do what the jambos do.
Yeah.
Does it take longer to cook your chicken on that jambo than the drum?
What now?
Does it take your chicken longer to cook on the jambo than your drum?
Oh yeah, it takes a little bit longer, but
you've got that dialed in apparently.
It gives it that, little bit different flavor.
Right.
The drum does. You don't get quite as much as that charcoal flavor. We'll see. I still use the drum. The ribs will hit it, the brisket will hit it.
Right. Do you do that at the beginning before you wrap, or do you put them on a drum after you wrap, Chuck?
I have been putting them on the drum after my wrap.
Putting them on the drum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're getting the smoky flavor, everything on the jambo, then you wrap them, and then put them in the drum.
Well, no, after I take them out of the wrap, everything hits the drum.
Hits the drum. Yeah. Okay. You're kind of setting sauces and all that stuff on the drum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that we're trying to get secrets, Chuck, but we're just trying to get secrets out of you,
I'm just taking notes.
Yeah, it's the subtle approach, Chuck. We're real smooth about this,
Gonna ease into it.
We don't want to do like the Shig and Fried over there. Them guys just flat come. We got to be a little bit more subtle than their game plan, because they'll corner you in a hurry. So, goodness gracious. Well, that's interesting though, that you're able to still use some of your drums, but you like that jambo. I mean, it is a nice pit. I had the opportunity to win the Ennis competition here. I don't know, 3 years ago, I guess, 3 years ago. And it was a beautiful pit. And I was like, man, Jamie, I'm not getting off my rotisserie, man. As much as I'd like to have it, I just am not giving up my rotisserie. Plus, that thing wouldn't have fit in my trailer anyway. So he ended up saying, hey, don't worry, I can put this thing for sale Monday, and I've got 12 people that'll buy it. So he was nice enough to take it off my hands and give me a little cash for it. And he said, it's sold. Don't even worry about it. But it is an absolutely beautiful pit, even for his backyard. I mean, I think it's about a $5,500 pit. Now, that was 3 years ago. I'm sure it's more than that now. And but it is a work of art. I mean, that guy really does build a beautiful pit. So
sure does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
I've cooked on drums for so long, and that's where most all my wins have come off of is drums. And but I started on an offset when I first started back in 2016, and I like the different color that your ribs and your brisket will get on an offset versus a drum.
For a drum, yeah. Absolutely. Well, Steve,
what kind of wood do you use? Real quick, what kind of wood do you use in your Jambo compared to your drum?
Same. I run pecan.
Pecan. Okay. Yep. Hard to beat pecan. It's just such a smooth flavor. It's not overpowering, and it's really good. What are you cooking on, Steve?
Cook chicken and brisket on cans, and then ribs in a pellet smoker, actually.
Okay, doing a pellet cooker. Yeah.
Started it a couple of years ago and hit the CBA Worlds. I hit an 8th rib out of 100 and something cooks with it, and thought I'm gonna stick with that for a while. So it's
you have to.
So,
Yeah, it's easy to push a button on those things and just let it rip. And I'll tell you what, pellet cookers are freaking phenomenal for ribs. It is just the way that, that was one of the things I had talked about in the class, just the way that they're constructed and the movement of air in those things, man, they're really, really good. And, it's a rib. It doesn't need a lot of smoke anyway. It's a really small piece of meat that's not very thick. So what little smoke they put out, it picks it up pretty well on a rib. So... man, that's a good combo.
I like it. Although I just bought it. I was just down at Jamie's house a couple weeks ago and bought a Jambo from him. So I was planning on starting it at the beginning of the year.
Nah, I think you need to start it in December the 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just go and move that up. And,
we'll see.
I mean, come on, it's a Jambo. I mean, it's just look at Chuck. Chuck rolls his out. He got off drums, roll out there, and gets a grand champion right off the get go. So, yeah, that's it.
I'm looking forward to trying it out, but I think it's going to stay in the garage until I figure out if I'm going to make a run at 7.
Right. Well, you've got 3 right now.
Why would you not? Yeah, you've already committed.
Yeah. If I get another 1 or 2 in the early spring, then I'll for sure do it.
If you get
you still have nine more months to get 4 more.
When's the cutoff date?
July the 31st.
Oh yeah, okay. Then
You got to go.
I'll go for it.
You need to put the throttle down. I'm telling you right now, there's nothing like the Jack. If you've never been,
he says with a barrel head behind.
Yeah, it is nothing like that place. That is a very, very special place. Man, I thought the American Royal was really cool when I first went in 2017. I didn't go back until 2021, and now I've been back 21, 22, 23, and 24, the last 4 straight. And I got a chance to go to the Jack last year with Sweetie. And, man, that place was really cool. I was like, this is a different vibe. I mean, you got 80 killer teams from all over the world, all across the United States. And it's just what makes it to me, and Lee, you've been there, you've cooked it, you was there this year. It's just like it's such a smaller area compared to like the American Royal. It's so big at the American Royal, you just get lost in the moment out there. It's 500 teams and stinking, bigger than a football infield that you're running around in. But when you go to the Jack, it's just, it's real low keyed, it's real quiet. There's not a lot of partying, and it's just a surreal place that, like, man, these are some bad cooks here, man. So if you've never been, I wished everybody could go. It's hard to. It's very hard to get to that place, unless if you you auto 7, baby, you're in. The only way you're going to get to the Jack is if you auto it, and that's hard to do. So, I would put your foot down. I would try to find as many competitions as I could that makes it and go for it. So,
and Steve, you're up in Fort Worth, is that right?
Yeah.
So, man, you're in a pretty good area. You can do all kind of cook-offs every weekend, it seems like.
Yeah, we're I've kind of been looking at the schedule. I'm not cooking San Antonio this weekend, but I'm next one's going to be the Outlaw Roundup, and then I'm probably going down to
Uvalde.
Yeah, Uvalde after that, and then probably hit up a couple of CBAs in January. That I did the world. I like the World Championship they do down in Seguin, and then the what's that one I cooked last year in Houston? or in New Caney. What's the one in New Caney? Hold 'em and hit 'em.
Hold them and hit them. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. I enjoyed that.
Right.
Didn't do any good, but
Right. Wow.
so. And then
That's where I cooked that's where I cooked my 13-minute chicken. I got first place, 61 teams. At the hold 'em and hit 'em.
chicken.
Hold them and hit them.
Yep.
Yep.
From raw done turned in, 61 teams, first place.
Yeah, we don't
True
even want
story.
to. I'm sure it probably burned all the porcelain and paint off of his smoker. So, but he did get it done. So
550 degrees, I cooked that chicken,
yeah,
and
Good Lord.
I got first place. So I do like that cook-off also.
yeah.
That's a fun cook-off.
He gave a new meaning to hot and fast.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that's a neat place. Yeah.
Yeah.